one of the big things that amateur golfers really struggle with is clearing the hips coming in towards the downswing position. One of the reasons I think is just because of a misconception. You see, when we look at a professional golfer at the point of impact, what we always notice is the way the hips have sort of cleared out the way, but the head's looking at the back of the ball. You can see the way the trail shoulder drops downward. So I think the natural inclination is most golfers think, well, I've got to try and get into this type of position. It's not that. You see, what a professional golfer is doing is, as they come into the downswing, is they're leading with the lower body, as I'm demonstrating here. And when you lead with the lower body like so, this induces what's known as a separation. And when you start to separate, it starts to create curvature and bending of the spine, which is basically why everything looks very downward, although in reality it's very much not the case. One of the things that you've got to really start thinking a little bit about is your hips, right? So if I use this here just as a bit of a visual pointer, I get set up and my hips are going to be, and your hips need to be way more horizontal than you realise. And then as you turn back, they need to be way more horizontal than you realise. And when you swing through, they need to be way more horizontal than you realise. You see, golfers who have a tendency to kind of get over the ball like so, and then try and keep the hips downward facing, just get really steep and really spinny this way. So what I always suggest, and what I promote you guys to do first and foremost, is if you're trying to lead with your hips in the downswing position, the first thing I'd suggest that you practice is standing taller. If you start to stand taller, feel like your belt buckle's pointing 3-4 feet in front of you, you'll find it way easier to start moving those hips over the ball like so. You're going to have very little motion. Stand taller, start swinging. You may just be surprised that you find leading with the hips easier than you anticipated. I'll see you soon.